Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, it is time for my full guide for the Blockbuster challenges. There are some tough challenges this week, but I'm going to be showing you all of the locations of things, such as where to search between a basement film camera, a snowy stone head, and a flashy gold big rig, where to find the hero mansion in villain hideout, low gravity zones, also the search between a rotary phone, fork knife, and hilltop house, all of that stuff. Going to be showing you all of the locations, and also just tips and tricks for every challenge, normal challenges, and the prestige challenges, to help you guys get them done as fast as possible, all in one single video. So yeah guys, if you find it helpful, hit that like button down below. I appreciate that a ton. Also comment what tier you guys are at below. I'm curious to see. Oh, and also guys, if you were planning on getting Borderlands 3, it's on the Epic Games Store. You can actually use my supporter creator code, or just click the link down below in the description if you were planning on getting that game and you want to help support me. I'd appreciate that a bunch. But yeah, without further ado here, let's get on into it with the first of the 14 challenges. And obviously these are in order because you sort of have to unlock them in order. But starting out, you have land in Dusty Depot, then visit the meteor in a single match, which is a bit tough because I don't think you can visit the meteor first. You might as well try it. But obviously, if you have to visit Dusty Depot, you guys know where that is. That's the obvious part. The tougher part is getting up to the meteor after the fact. So basically what I would recommend to get this one done fast is to go into Team Rumble, but maybe not go for this right off the start. I mean, you can. If nobody else is there, you know, you might as well do that. However, if you wait a little bit, maybe like a couple minutes, everybody else that's at Dusty Depot will probably have moved on, and you can spend that time harvesting materials with the extra farm rate, then simply build up, glide, and land at Dusty Depot. That should count for the land at Dusty Depot, obviously. And then since it's quieter, you can use that time to build up to the meteor and likely not have anybody else there to cause you problems. So yeah guys, that is what I recommend for that one. But moving on to the second challenge here, you have harvest materials at the block, which is a pretty easy challenge, and honestly I don't really have that many tips for you guys, especially since this location obviously, you know, changes up a bit, so I can't give you specific things to look for. But obviously I would go into Team Rumble because again, it has an increased farming rate. You may also be able to do arena. I'm not 100% sure if challenges count in arena, but either way, Team Rumble again has that boosted farming rate, so it'll save you a bit of time and make it even easier. On top of that, there's less players to, you know, run into, which always helps out as well. Keeping it going here guys, you then have the challenge land at a rundown hero mansion and an abandoned villain hideout. Now I'm pretty sure you need to go to both of these for this challenge. The way it's worded is a little bit confusing. If you don't, you know, obviously you just have to land at one, but let's go over the locations in case you need a reminder of where exactly these are. Oh man, wasn't that back in like season 4 when it was first added? Either way, let's go into the locations. So basically the first of which, the rundown hero mansion, that is on the very east side of the map. It's actually like on the east sort of center part, but as you can see right here, just going into replay, it's near Lonely Lodge. It's directly south of it. You're just looking for this building right here, so simply go over there and like Team Rumble or something like that, and that is the first location right there. Now then after that, for the abandoned villain hideout, it is like on the opposite side of the map, on the west side. You want to go all the way over there, so maybe do it in a different game or try to respawn. Doesn't really matter, but that location, as you can see, is right over here up on this hill slash mountain, whatever you want to call it. That is indeed the villain's base from all the way back when the visitor first showed up on the map. So yeah, there's those locations right there. Now keeping it going here, you also have the challenge deal damage while being affected by low gravity. This one's a little bit interesting because there's not a ton of low gravity spots or things on the map. I'm pretty sure there is 2 ways to get this challenge done, and the way that I would recommend doing it is simply going into solo. The reason for that is because you're going to want to land at either the meteor, that is the first location where you can be affected by low gravity, but I think you can also go to the soccer fields, or like the void, whatever it's called now, and try and find a hop rock. Those two I think give you the low gravity effect, but obviously the meteor is probably easier, so go there in solo. There's probably going to be a bunch of people trying to get this challenge done, so try and get an item or something very fast and then go about dealing some damage. Might take a couple of games, but that's how you do that. And then after that guys, you have a search between challenge, which we haven't had in a while. These are some of my favorite, but the clue for this one is search between a basement film camera, a snowy stone head, and a flashy gold big rig. So yeah guys, I got the exact location for this right here. I'm pretty sure you are looking for a star, similar to the search between challenges in the past. And actually guys, real quick before we get into it, if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below because I post these guides every single week showing you all 14 challenges in one single video. So if you don't want to miss those, the best way to know about them is to be subscribed and have notifications turned on. But yeah, going into replay here, as you can see, first of all, the basement film camera is over near Shifty Shafts. That's actually the general area for this location, but it's inside of this house right here, so that's the first thing. Then a snowy stone head is over more so towards Greasy grove on that hill. And finally, a flashy gold big rig is over more so towards Tilted Town. So if we go up a bit and triangulate the locations of all three of those, I'm pretty sure the star should be right around this spot right here. There's a little patch of dirt. That's usually where they put the stars or things like that. So that's where I would go first, but maybe it's a little bit more over towards this area as well. But honestly, it should probably be at that patch because that's how they've done it in the past. And then after that, guys, you have another challenge which is pretty interesting. Consume fruit, mushrooms, or glitched foraged items. You need a total of 10 of them. Now, obviously, glitched foraged items can be found at the Void. We already sort of talked about that location. However, I would not go there. I think that's where most people would probably go. There's two other spots that I would recommend going. The first of which is Lonely Lodge because you can find a ton of mushrooms. Also, they are, well, mushrooms, so they restore shield, which means you can pick them up at the start of a match. Whereas with fruit, you know, you have to lose health first before you can pick them up. So I would recommend running around Lonely Lodge in like Team Rumble or something, finding a bunch of mushrooms. So yeah, but on top of that, there's also this location inside of Lazy Lagoon. If you go inside of this building right here, you can find a ton of bananas super close together, but obviously, you know, those restore health. So honestly, that'd probably be a secondary location if you just happen to be over there. So yeah, I recommend Lonely Lodge for sure. After that then, though, you have the final of the normal challenges, which is a pretty easy one. It is claim vending machines in different matches. For this one, you know, I try to do it with other challenges as well. Like if you're looking for mushrooms at Lonely Lodge, look for a vending machine over there because they do spawn there, or just look for a vending machine at any of the other locations. And again, you do have to do it in different matches, so make sure you do in fact go into different matches for it. But moving on here, guys, you have the prestige challenges. First of all, with eliminations at Dusty Depot or the Meteor. So that one's fairly self-explanatory. Obviously, go to either the Meteor or Dusty Depot. However, I would recommend trying solo, simply because, you know, you get your eliminations right away. You don't have to worry about knocking somebody down and then getting revived. And these two locations are very close together anyways, so it shouldn't be that hard of a challenge. On top of that, you have search chests or ammo boxes at the block, which is another one that's fairly easy. I don't have a lot of tips for this one, except, you know, also focus on those ammo boxes. Obviously, there's probably a lot more ammo boxes than chests, so look around for both, but you should be able to get that one done fairly quickly. And yeah, since that location switches up a ton, I can't really show you specific spots. But yeah, also do Team Rumble because I think the ammo box and chest spawn rates are increased. So yeah, but then after that, you have search chests at an abandoned hero mansion or villain lair. So again, I already showed you the locations of those. I thought this one was maybe going to have to be visit both locations in the same game. That would have been kind of fun, but I guess we have chests for this one. So obviously, you know, go to these two locations in Team Rumble where you have an increased spawn rate of chests. Go to whichever one is on your side of the map. However, I would recommend going to the villain's base because I don't think the hero mansion has that many chests. I looked around for a bit and found one near the entrance, as you can see right there, and then I went into the basement area and there's one on this side again, sort of facing the entrance, and then there is another one down at like the back hangar type area. If you run all the way to the back of that, that one's pretty hidden, but I'm not sure if there's another chest after that. So yeah, there's not a lot of chests in this area. Oh, and actually there is one up in this like gazebo type area, whatever you would call it, and that one's actually fairly secret. I don't think anybody really goes for that one. And then for the villain's base, it has more chests. It has around like 6 or 7, I want to say. There's one on the top. There's also a bunch if you go into that one like spider web room. There's like 3 that can spawn in there. So actually, I would 100% recommend checking out the villain's base. And then, you know, there's a few more chests scattered around. There's a couple towards the front. There's also one on top of like this weird pillar type thing. So yeah, 100% go for the villain's base. Keeping it going here though, you then have the challenge deal damage with explosive weapons, and I think you have to deal around 500 total damage. So the way I would recommend going about doing this one is to obviously go into Team Rumble. That's going to be the best way to get this challenge done because obviously there's respawns, there's a lot of other players to run into, and also you can find these types of items fairly consistently, especially if you go for airdrops. A lot of the times they can spawn with explosive weapons, so that's a good way to look around. But also I think the grenades count too. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case, but it's worth testing out, especially since they're super common. But other than that, you know, it's going to come down to actually finding one of these types of items that can get you the damage done, and that's just going to be done through, you know, looking around for chests and stuff. And you know what, if you're doing the search chest set and abandoned hero mansion or villain layer challenge, maybe you'll find one of these and be able to use it for this challenge. So keep that in mind. Definitely keep this challenge in the back of your head if you happen to find one of these items. But then after that, you have another tough challenge. Search between a rotary phone, a fork knife, and a hilltop house full of carbide and omega posters. Don't worry guys, I got the location of where this stuff is to help you guys out. This one's a little bit bit tougher. I know the general area, but maybe not the specific like dirt patch that it's on. Either way, let me show you here where this location is. So starting out here, it's basically towards Fatal Field because you have the fork knife, the little like thing in the ground right over here near Fatal Fields. Then on top of that, the house on top of the hill can be found, well, on top of this hill over here. And then if you go over to the hill across in like the snowy biome, you can find the rotary phone on top of there. So then after that, flying up a bit so we can look at all three of those locations together and sort of triangulate the position between those, it seems to be like this is located at these trees right here. So that's where I would start to look around. Again, I'm a little confused because there's a bunch of different dirt patches. So just look around this general area. Like on screen right here, you'll see a bunch of different patches to maybe check out. But if you get in the general area, you should be able to see the star pop up. And if for whatever reason the location of this changes, simply check the pinned comment down below for updates, but it should be around there. But we have 2 more challenges to go here, but they are fairly easy. You have consume fruit, mushrooms, or glitched foraged items in a single match. Obviously, just do the same thing I recommended for the one in the normal challenges. Go to Lonely Lodge in Team Rumble or something like that, find a bunch of the mushrooms on the ground, and you should be able to get 8 of them fairly easily. And then for the final challenge, guys, you have harvest materials at the block or Dusty Depot in a single match. That's pretty much exactly like the normal one, and it's a very easy challenge. However, do not go to Dusty Depot. Go to the block instead, because that has a lot more materials. Dusty Depot is alright. So yeah, but you can choose whatever you want. It's a fairly easy one. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more guides every single week. On top of that, be sure to check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left, my challenges guide for the Borderlands challenges that released, and then below that, the previous week's challenges. But anyways, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.